girl's dream became a reality. She showed how one person can really make a difference. That little girl, Jane Addams, grew up to be our very first social worker.
And I thought, someday I am going to have a house where children can come and play, and it'll be clean and it'll be safe. And that dream stayed in my heart for years. And I shared my dream with my friend Ellen, and we heard about Charles Hall, who had built this gorgeous home for a country estate, but the city had crowded out, and the land of the other people had been sold, and he had moved away, but the house was still there, and it was just what we wanted. It was right in the middle of this tenements and saloons and buildings, factories. So we got the house, but then we needed money for programs and such, because I had been to England. And in London they have a settlement house called Toynbee, and I thought, that is exactly the way that I want to have my house.
Not all struggles to end slavery occurred in the South. One of the bravest challenges to the legality of slavery happened during the Revolutionary War in Massachusetts, brought about by one lone slave woman, Elizabeth Freeman.
No, sir. I will not go home a slave. What? What? Then he looks at Mr. Sheffield. What is the nonsense she's talking about? He says, John, she has a case. He says, a case? A case? She's my partner. I said, you gather your child and come home now. Then he said, man, don't we keep you free from what? I said, yes. Don't we pay you better than most other people? I said, yes. Well, aren't you happy? I said, yes, but happy don't matter. I want to be free. I said, you're my slave, you're my partner. You gather your child and you come home now. I went back. I was forbidden to leave the house. I felt bad. I was dejected, and I did my job, but my heart wasn't in it. One day in August 19th, we went to court. Mr. Sheffield represented. My day came. The judge said, we have to come back in a few days to get a decision, but we have to have a jury to decide. 3 days later, I won my freedom. The newspapers and the radio said it was a president's set for freedom. John was ordered to pay court costs, back wages, and my attorney fees. I looked at Mr. Sheffield and said, what do I want all that for? I just wanted my freedom. He said, first pay your lawyer, then buy 3 new dresses. I am so impressed with your keen mind. I want you to run my household for me. I did. I ran his household for 50 years. His children called me Mother Bet and soon Mom Bet. I raised enough money there working to take care of my children, my grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And I was proud to be born at a time where the Massachusetts Constitution was written to set me free.
Its famous stagecoach drivers was Charley Parkhurst. Come on out, Charlie. Tell them your story.
My name's Charley Parkhurst, and I'm here today to tell you how I come to be the top stagecoach driver out west. Now, one of the other stories I like to tell, and people are always asking for it, about the big old flat bridge. That was a bridge what I went across, saved me a good bit of time on my trips to Stockton. It ran over this big river. Now, let me tell you, It's a tough job, driving stage, even in good weather. Them roads are rough and rutted. That stagecoach bucks and sways. If you didn't have them 6 horses to hold it onto the road and pull it up the mountain and take it down the mountain, you'd be in a heap of trouble. And you need strong arms coming down that mountain. So if it's a tough job in good weather, think about when it rains. And the rain I want to tell you about weren't no regular rain. It was a gully washer. It had been raining hard for days. Creeks and rivers were up over their banks. It was a mess. I pulled into the station house to pick up a passenger, and the station master told me, rain coming like cats and dogs. He told me, he said, "Charlie, I don't think you're going to be able to go across the big old flat bridge. I hear all this flooding and everything, just about taking it out." Well, I told him I'd make my mind up when I got there. So we took off in the driving rain, slipping and sliding in that mud. And as I was approaching the road that led up to the road what took you to the old flat bridge, I could hear the water. And when I turned onto that road that led to it, the hair on my arms went up. That water was just rushing and grabbing and taking anything it come near, trees, rocks, boulders. And I'm riding along there looking down, and trees are shooting down like toothpicks. The sound of it all, you could feel it. About 100 yards shy of the bridge, here's this fella standing out in the road going like this. I thought, poor fool, he needs a ride. I pulled the team to a stop. He come over and he says, "The bridge is about to go. Bridge is about to go. Turn back." And with that, my little passenger pops his head out and he's like this. And he's going, "Take me back, Mr. Charlie. Please take me back. I'll pay you any amount of money you need to take me right on back. Don't need to go to Stockton. Let's go back now. I'll make up any wages, anything you need. Just take me back now." I told that fellow standing in the rain, "Move." I took my reins and I did a double hitch and we went, "Yeah!" And I know I knocked my passenger on his hand in that thing, but we ain't gonna go there. Anyway, we went slipping and sliding toward that bridge. I made a sharp turn to get onto that bridge and we went up on 2 wheels and almost lost it. Just got it right as we went on that bridge, and the bridge started to move. And the bridge started to fall apart. The railings started cracking, splitting, and flying off. And all I could do was just hold my horses and just pray as we were going across that bridge. The water was starting to come up through the bridge. Sprays coming up. We just made it to the other side. And I pulled my team to a halt, and there was an explosion like you can't imagine. That bridge was gone. Thousands of pieces going down that river. I looked back to check on my passenger, and he's standing in the driving rain holding on to that door, and his knees going like this. And I said, "You okay?" He said, "Mr. Charlie, I thought we was goners. I thought we was going in that river." And I looked at him and I said, "You and me in that river ain't gonna happen. Fussy about who I take a bath with." Well, I want you to know, got my passenger back in, got to Stockton, got my passenger and my gold, and the stage delivered on schedule. Now you know why I'm the best.
How about those amazing American women?